Hey there YouTube, AJ here, back on my old motor, and we're gonna see if we can get this bottom end disassembled. We want to at least get the crank out of here. I would like to get the camshaft out of here. I don't know if that's possible yet. And start knocking out the lifters, which are stuck in their bores, and maybe even the pistons. I don't know how far we'll get today, but you know, it's going to be a pretty grimy job, so I'd like to get this all done in one shot. Anyway, the motor is the same as where we left off, but if we come out here to the hot rod, you can see I've also started tearing down this motor. I removed the heads, the intake absolutely came off, no problems. I got the valves out with minimal issues. I think I only bent one valve, and I was actually able to use the official Ford method for removing valves out the top on a couple of them. So yeah, this motor's definitely in better shape in terms of that, in terms of everything being frozen and stuck. So hopefully this will come apart nicely and will be a good rebuildable core as well. I'm hoping both are rebuildable cores, but we'll see. You know, I got a long ways to go before we find that out. Anyways, let's get back in there, drain the oil out of this thing, and see what we got inside. Okay, so first thing you may notice is my oil flow distribution redirection system here. My oil pan will not fit between the bottom of the engine stand and the motor since I shortened my engine stand. So using cardboard and duct tape, I knocked this up to hopefully make the oil come over in the pan without creating too much of a mess. We'll see what happens. We also hope that there's no water in this oil. That would be nice. Moment of truth is coming. Oh, it got stuck again. All right. Now maybe the moment of truth is coming. No whammies. Come on, baby. No water, no water, no water. Oh, come on. He keeps getting stuck. Oh, come on, come on, come on. No water. It's about free. Come on. No water, no water, no water, no water, no water. Oh, that's good. Does not look like there's any water in it. That is good. Although it looks kind of purple. Oh no, 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 don't come up this end. Yeah, it actually, the oil looks purple. Doesn't look horrible. Does smell like it has gas in it. All right, well, we're gonna let that sit and drain for a while, and we'll come back to you. Okay, surprisingly, my cardboard oil redirection system worked extremely well. Now, I did notice when I was pulling this drain plug out, these little tiny slivers of what appears to be wire. I don't know if you can see this, but they were coming off around the drain plug. I don't know if that is, this drain plug has a K on it on the other side, and then it has this cross where it almost looks like it's made to tap itself. So I don't know, was this, did they just originally run these in to tap the pan, and that's where this wire came from, or is that something else? I don't know. Yeah. Or, you know, was this some way they used to seal them by putting wire in there? I have no idea. I mean, this is really, really fine wire, if it's not a cutting scrap, you know. Anyway, it's out. Our pan is just dripping barely now, so we're going to go ahead and put the drain plug back in. Let's see if we can remove this without making too much of a mess. Or what's left out. There is some crud that came out. I don't see anything super shiny, but potential other than those little threads that were coming out with the oil plug. I mean, I know this engine isn't in good shape. I'm just hoping the bottom end is actually not all rusted and nasty the way the top end was. Okay, I am going to go ahead and break all these loose by hand. I like to break bolts loose by hand if I can, because I like to see how the torque was, if something feels weird, whatever. You can't do that if you just take an impact and go. So I'm going to break these free by hand, and then I will probably use the impact to just rip them all out. Well, that one broke really super easy. Same and same. All right, so that could mean either someone's been in here and didn't tighten it up. Maybe they opened it up and went, and closed it right back up. Who knows? Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and take these out. All right, so they all broke free pretty easily, but they all had about the same kind of torque on them. So that's kind of a good sign. And then this one bolt had this weird tab on it. I have no idea what that tab is for. It was like right here. It was either one in front or behind. I think it was the one in front of the oil dipstick tube. So I don't know if something has broke off that tab. Kind of looks like it may have been broken. I don't know what that's for. If anybody knew what that's for, please let me know in the comments below. All right, got one bolt left. And it's already started to drop, so it's free. And we're free. The good news is I don't see like a crap ton of rust. The bad news is I'm not sure I can get this out. Dripping, so let's see what we can do here. Maybe the other way. See if I can get it out from the other side. Oh, the trouble with shortening your engine stand. That works. All right, cool. Now, okay, our pickup was still draining some oil here, so we want to try to catch that. Let's let that drain for a while, and then we'll catch you back up once it stops. Okay, while that was draining, I took advantage of the time, and I put all my bolts back into my oil pan. Turns out one was missing. I've got one more hole than I do bolt, so I've either lost one already, or it was never there, and I don't think it was ever there because I don't think I lost it. Now let's check out our oil pan. There's sludge in the bottom. Let's drain out what we got in here. Looking for anything shiny or chunky. Nothing so far. Let me get a poking stick. Let's see. Just your typical goo. Actually, this pan's actually better than my other one was. Not near as much sludge. The other one looked like it had a lot of paraffin buildup. This one does not seem to have near as much. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me get a flashlight. Sorry about that, maybe that's better. So now you can kind of see in there, you can see the dried up kind of goop that's, yeah, in terms of what's in the oil pan, this one actually looks a lot better than my other one. This should clean up pretty nice. And I want to use this oil pan because the other one's been cut and modified. I don't know if it was in a vehicle at some point, had to have modifications done in order to fit. But yeah, no metal, no big chunks of metal or anything, which the other one definitely had chunks of a lifter in it. Well, that kind of tells me nothing catastrophically broke in this motor, which I suppose is a good sign. Get this all stirred up like a big, thick, oily milkshake. And hopefully we can get this poured down into the drain pan so we can dispose of it properly. And yes, I do actually dispose of my oil properly. I go to Advanced Auto and they have recycling, and I send it along its way back to the dinosaurs from which it came. Okay, let's test our engine stand and see if we can get this thing turned over. Whoa, whoa, we almost lost it. Look at all the crud come out. Ah, there we go. Alright, bolts in. Upside down motor. Let's see if we can make more dirt fall out of it. All kinds of dirt coming out of it. First inspection. Pan rails have been known to crack in flatheads. In fact, it's very common for them to freeze and bust. Fortunately, I think this motor spent its life in the South and has not had that happen. This side all looks good. I'm seeing nothing obvious. So far, this block is looking like it's a good block. Now, I should mention, earlier in one of my videos on this motor, I mentioned that it's never been bored, which is a good thing. Believe it or not, the motor that's in the hot rod now, it hasn't been bored either. It looks like it's had one piston replaced because one of the pistons is marked STD, standard. Other than that, they all look like original pistons, and I measured the bores, and they're all original bore size, 3.1875, I think, bore size. Anyway, shockingly, they all appear to be not bored, so that's a good sign. So anyway, back to this motor. I'm just going to go ahead and take off the pickup assembly all in one shot here, I think. It appears it has one bolt that holds it. Come on, bolt, come out of there. Bolt free. Clean for now. Well, that didn't happen like I thought was going to happen. Heck no, that ain't moving. Huh. How does that come off there? Holy guacamole. Let's get a pry bar and see if we can pry up on that. Oh, come on. What am I missing? Do I have to take something out from behind it first? Because I know there's gears in here. Alright. Let's not mess with this. Did it move? Hang on, I think maybe I did move it. Yeah, it moved. The problem is it's right up against getting close to the main cap now. How do I get it under there? Oh, it's moving now. Okay. Come on. Maybe if we take it back and forth a few times, we can get it to come out. Oh, look at that goop coming out of the pickup. Let's see. Ooh, that's good. Now at least it's moving by hand. All right, it's starting to lift now. Let's put a pry bar to that thing. Try this again. Pry bar again. Woo! Well, hey, look at that. We got it. Okay. I'm gonna throw that in the oil pan for now. Okay, I think what I gotta do next, before I pull the mains, I'm going to go ahead and pull all the nuts off the rod caps and try to remove the rod caps, and because everything's frozen up and it has these little keeper nuts on them, so like I got to remove the keeper before I can remove the actual nut, and this is going to be difficult because some of them are down inside the block, which isn't going to be fun. There's the little keeper lock nut. I don't know if those are reusable or not, but you know, it is what it is right now. And then there's a regular, oh boy. Oh. All right, I'm gonna go through and get all the keepers free first, and I'll bring you back. Okay, that took longer than I wanted it to, but I got all the keepers off. Or keeper nuts, whatever you call, lock nuts, whatever they're called. Now let's see about breaking free the main bolt nuts. Okay. Right now, again, I'm just kind of testing how much force is needed to break them free, see if they're all equal. That one took a little more force, but for the most part so far, they've all been pretty equal. We got a few that are down in the block that are a lot harder to access. See, that one was a little stickier. The rest broke free and then were free, but that one was sticky a couple turns. Put a wobble joint to get a couple more, and there's this one. I think I can only get it with a wrench, and it's going to be real fun. Oh, great. The wobble socket's loose, so I'll get out. Yep, went right down in the motor. Come on. Come up out of there. Oh, it's stuck behind the connecting rod. Does not want to come out. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. All right. We're going to take a break. See if we can figure out how to get this socket out of here. Okay. Well, I took off all the ones that were already loose. And I think I got 1, 2, 3, 4 still on that haven't been broken free yet. I could not get my socket out from behind that connecting rod, so I got a 12-point socket on here. Hopefully that decision won't bite me in the butt. I taped this socket on, so hopefully we can at least get 3 out of these 4 left. Gonna be able to get 2 with the wobble socket, I think, hopefully. And then we'll have to figure out something else for the other 2, because there's not enough room to get a socket in there, let alone with the wobble joint on there. Got it. Now these last 2 are going to be a pain, because I can't even get a wrench on them, let alone. All right, I think I'm going to try to take some caps off. Here's one. Bearing surface on this one doesn't look horrible. All right, well, let's see if we can get some more of these off. Well, I got 6 rod caps off. I've got 1 piston out. Now, I can't move the crank yet, so I can't get it to where I have 1 bolt on this one that I can't get to, and if I try to use a wrench, it just keeps slipping off. Same thing on the front one. I got a bolt down here that I can't get to because it's inside the block. Can't get a socket on it, etc., etc. So, what we're going to try now is to take the main caps off, and hopefully I'll be able to move the crank around enough to like wedge it up and get a socket on these last 2 bolts or nuts and get those off. So let's see how these break free. Oy! Oh boy, might need a bigger breaker bar. There goes one. There we go. All right, I'd say those are all torqued about the same. Woo-hoo! Ah, well, crud. Well, the good news is the main looks good. The bad news is I don't know which way that goes. All right, one side's flush. One side's got a step, so it looks like this step might go to the rear. I'm not positive. We'll figure that out. So at least it's not the same both ways inside. This internal space has a step in it. Main caps are off. All the bearing surfaces actually look really good. On the con rods, on the mains, everything looks good. Nothing burnt, nothing scraped up. It's kind of shocking considering how the condition of the top end. So it makes you wonder what sidelined this motor. Okay, well, the camera battery died, so I went in and had some lunch. Now it's time to see if we can get this crank to move, and if we can get to those last 2 bolts. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Now, is there a safe place to pry upon? We don't want to crack our block. We don't want to mess up our crank. I need to rock it this way to get to that one. I need to rock it that way to get to this one. So I don't know if we can do this or not. We have movement there. I need something to wedge. There we go. I can get to this one now. Really good. Alrighty. I believe we're gonna have another piston able to come out here. That one's moving. All right, 2 pistons. Hopefully we can do the same thing down here. All right, come on, baby. I need you to rotate in a little bit. How did I bite on that the last time? All right, so it wants to rotate that way. I'm wondering if I can kind of rotate this up and out of all the journals and then roll it back. Ow, finger. Aha. Alright, let's get this nut off here. Oh, Yahtzee. That's not what we meant to do. Now we lost that orientation. Fortunately, the oiling holes show up where they were. So now I've got that orientation back. All right, cool. The crankshaft should be free. Ta-da! Wow. Getting the cam out is going to be a bear, because all of those lifters are stuck up, or stuck down, whatever you would call it. I guess next we start seeing if we can get some of these pistons out. And all we're really going to do on that is we're going to just go around with this rod and tap very gently. Most of these pistons are bad, so it doesn't really matter. We're not trying to save them. We are trying to save the rods though. So if one gets damaged, I'm not too concerned. But anyway, let's get to that. The remaining pistons are stuck pretty darn good. So I'm going to have to make something. The pieces of 2x4 I've been using just been splitting apart. So I'm going to have to go make something to drive those out with. In the meantime, I'm going to see if I can't get these lifters to possibly come out. Well, that one's moving, so that's good. Without damaging my cam. That's the key issue here. Only one's played nice so far. How am I going to do this? Because the cam's in the way and I can't really hammer on them. From what I can see of the cam so far, it looks good, so I don't want to mess it up because I need a cam. I need to be a little more solid tippity tappities here. There we go. Okay. Get that one to move. Don't have them all the way out yet, but they're moving. If I can get them to move far enough to get the cam out, that'll be a victory. Well, they all have moved some. Let's see if we can't get them. Need something a little smaller. See if we can get them in a little further. Oh yeah. There's one out. All right, I've got all the lifters in, so I would think I can get the cam out now. Now, I don't know if I need to take this plate to get that rear gear off or not. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping I can just go ahead and undo the front and get it. Now, I did learn that there's little tabs on this lock plate that you have to bend down before you can undo these bolts. So let's see what we can do about that. That's one. Okay, let's see if we can get these out. And you know what? I'm going to use the impact because this wants to spin. There's our locking plate. There's our timing gear. Alright, let's see if we can get a cam out of here. Oh, I'm afraid of that. Oh. Probably not the official methodology for this, but let's see. Moved a little bit. That may have just been the end play. This is where I have to stop and wonder if I need to take that off back there, or if I can just pull this out. I thought I could just pull it out, but I'm not sure. Maybe this is a good time to take a break and go about making a tool to drive these pistons out and do a little research on getting this cam out. Alright, so I ran to Home Depot. I grabbed a, I don't know, foot section, a 1-inch pipe, a reducing coupler. I forget what size this is, but basically it's like 2.5 inches wide here. Thread it in, and then on the other end I put a cap, give me something to pound on. And I saw something like this made on another channel, but I don't know if it's exactly the same. But anyway, this is my piston removal tool. This one's most of the way down, so we'll start here. And we're just going to use brute force. Okay, I don't want this to drop straight to the ground. I need something to catch it. Alright, so I got some cardboard in this dog food bag. Hopefully this will create a bit of a pillow and ease its transition to the ground. Whoa! And it did not catch on my dog food bag. She went skittering across the floor. Check. I did start to drive this one out, but now the edge of the piston is hitting the flange on the block down here, so I don't know what I'm going to do with that one. So we're going to kind of wait. But this one's the next lowest in its bore. Let's see what we can do here. I guess we can try to move our pillow, but I don't know if it's going to do much good. Anyway, here we go. You can see our cap's already deforming quite a bit. You can imagine if we were just banging on the end of the pipe. Holy crud monkeys. There it went. Our dog food pillow bag worked a little better that time. We are halfway there. Okay, well that one was really fun. I got it down to like that much was left in the bore, and then the piston broke. Then I had to drive the rest of it out. Pretty gnarly. Now we got this one and this one. They're driven all the way down, but the piston skirt's hitting a flange on the motor. I can't get them out, so I'm gonna have to try to drive those back through. And then I have one down here. And the top of that piston looks really good, so I don't really want to mess it up if I don't have to. So, and it's almost all the way up in its bore, so I'm going to try to drive that one out too. So I'm going to flip the block over and see what I can do working from the other side. Maybe we should start with the one we're hoping comes out easy. it has the least furthest way to travel. I'd like to get this out without any damage, but I don't know if we can do that. That did not move one iota. That time it felt like it moved. I'm working my way around the solid parts of the piston. Trying to drive it out evenly. It felt like it popped. It did. All right. This piston's already broke and it's got the top all messed up, so these really don't matter. I just want to get these out. You can go a little rougher with these two. They're just going to suck because it's got to drive all the way through. Okay, well, these came out a little easier than I thought. After hammering them, this part broke off. So this came out the bottom. I was able to drive that through the top. I've got this one where it's the two parts are held together by a ring. There with the ring. So there's the bottom. And now we need to hammer this top out. I think what I'm going to do is flip it back over and hammer it out the bottom. Oh, come on, baby. It's getting heavier or I'm getting tired. If you got to do this job free in a stuck motor like this, you're going to have to drive those pistons out the bottom. Don't screw around with chunks of wood. They're just going to split up on you. Yeah, this was kind of expensive. In reality, it's 3 pieces of pipe fittings. It's like $25-ish, $20 to $25 in these 3 pieces. But yeah, well worth it. We'll save that if we ever have to do it again. I hope not, but if we ever do. So all the pistons are out. Let's see if we can't maybe move this camshaft out. Just going to very gently pry on this gear while I try to move it back and forth. And I think that actually is working. It looks like it did separate up a little bit. And I'm putting just very light pressure on this gear. Last thing I want to do is move that gear. Come on there. Ooh, it moved a bunch there. Well, a bunch in my world. Oh, there we go. I think we are free. It is. All right, let's see if we can get this cam out. It feels to be free. I think I do want to flip it over before I do this. That way I can kind of see what I'm doing to guide it out. All right. Oh, yeah. See if we can get this out now. There we go. All right, it's going. All right, all right. All right, it's free. All right, let's see what we got here. Well, quick inspection, I think I got a good cam for my other motor. All right, now before we flip this back over, I'm gonna pop the rest of these lifters out of here. All right, well, YouTube, I think that's what I'm going to call this video. We now have a block that the only thing left to remove are the cam bearings, which I don't know how to remove those yet. Well, I'm not going to worry about that right now. It looks like I can get those pretty easy. That looks like I can either hook them or drive them out, something. I can figure that out. And then I got to take off this plate on the back once I get it off the engine stand and take out whatever's in there. And then this thing's ready for cleanup. Speaking of cleanup, I think what I'm going to do is clean up my mess, clean myself up, and we're going to call it for the day. That was a pretty good day's work. Got the crankshaft out, got the camshaft out. Looks like we got a good camshaft, so I'm happy there. And got the lifters all out, got all the pistons out, even though, you know, some were damaged. Most were damaged. You know, those pistons aren't going to be reused. The connecting rods, yeah. Lifters, no. Maybe, I mean, potentially the lifters could be reground and used, so we'll save them. We won't throw them away. Yeah, this block's ready to get all cleaned up and pressure tested. So, thank you for watching. Hopefully my misery can help you along your way if you're trying to accomplish something like this. Maybe you got just enjoyment out of watching my misery. That's cool too. If you made it this far, hey, click that subscribe button. I'm getting close to 1,000. I'd like to get 1,000 subs by the end of the year. I'm at 940 something now. Other than that, yeah, we'll get back on this, get it cleaned up and pressure tested. And I'm going to do my own DIY pressure testing, so you're going to want to subscribe to see how I do that. Till then though, YouTube, later.